Joining us for our political roundtable this morning, Republican analyst Jenny Buckingham, Democratic analyst Marianne Marsh. Guys, great to see you. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, South Boston native, is resigning his post. Homeland Security announced that the Boston native will depart later this spring. It came hours after Lyons testified before a House committee. He was questioned about deaths in ICE custody and future agency plans. What do you make of his resignation? Ginny, let's start with you.
Well, there have been reports that he has had some health-related issues to his work, stress-related issues. So I suspect that's a big part of it. And I don't blame him. It's a really hard job. This does give the administration yet another chance after Kristi Noem's being fired to reset their approach on ICE, which obviously is what they have to do.
Marianne.
Todd Lyons is from South Boston, and if you're in politics and from South Boston, you understand self-preservation too. So to Ginny's point, yes, there were some articles out there about his health, foreshadowing this perhaps announcement. He also might know that there's accountability coming, and or something worse now with Homans running ICE. So if he gets out now, he might be able to try to save himself.
The next night in the Senate race, there's a new poll that shows U.S. Senator Ed Markey holds a double-digit lead over his challenger, Congressman Seth Moulton. Take a look. That poll found 47% of likely primary voters would choose Senator Markey compared to 30% for Congressman Moulton. Moulton's camp says that the poll shows that he is the one with momentum, pointing out that he gained support while Markey has stalled in the 50% mark. Moulton is trying to pitch voters on generational change. But does that argument work in a Democratic primary, Marianne?
The age argument does not work, and you see it in the poll. Only 24% of the people in that poll care about it at all. Everyone has 135 days left. 17-point margin. Ed Markey's favorability rating is 84%.
84%.
Moulton's is 55, okay? So when you go through all these numbers, you see a 17-point margin, you think, can he be overcome? The Moulton team is betting that they can start to knock Markey down more. He dropped 6 since November. Can we drop him another 6 in the next 4 months? That gets us within 5, and that's why you see the super PAC affiliated with Moulton running ads on Channel 5 and elsewhere, trying to knock Markey down on the age issue, which does not matter. So we'll see. There's a long way to go here, but it's still headwinds on Moulton, and Markey's certainly the favorite to get reelected.
Jenny, it would appear the age issue does not matter. Do you agree with that?
I've been thinking about that because it did matter with President Biden, obviously. But why did it matter with Biden? Because the voters could see for themselves that he was compromised. They're not seeing that with Ed Markey, and unless Moulton can prove his case that it matters, it probably won't. I would say both sides did see some good news in this poll. Moulton did see a little bit of growth. Also, Moulton's raising more money than Markey, so you can't rule it out yet. Rule him out yet.
1 week after the House passed a ban on social media for kids, Governor Healy unveiled her own proposal. She wants to limit social media for kids to 2 hours a day and deactivate addictive features like autoplay and infinite scrolling. Healy says she supports the House bill as well, and her ideas would be complementary to that. So first of all, let's talk about the timing. Does this come a little bit late? She first telegraphed this during her State of the State, Ginny, and it came after the House already passed theirs. The Senate has passed their cell phone ban.
I mean, it's not too late. I still think it's a terrible idea and that parents should be in charge of this, not government. But if we're going to do it, Healy's approach is better. And that's what she didn't say. She said it complements the House approach. In fact, it's superior in that it targets the addictive features of the social media, limits the time, doesn't ban it altogether, allows people between 16 and 18 to make their own choices. It's a better approach overall, and that's probably why she had to pull it back and try to navigate how do you work with the House now to get it through.
Yeah, she's tucking it into the supplemental budget. What do you think, Marianne?
Which is smart. I mean, this is everybody gets something. How this ends up, I think everybody will get the thing they want most of all, but the biggest beneficiaries are the kids.
Is it a winning issue for an election year?
It is. It's not the winning issue.
Yeah.
It's not that big, but it is for kids.
But parents like this idea.
Parents love it, and it's very good for kids.
A Western Massachusetts town voted down proposals that would have raised property taxes by 50%. Supporters warn that cuts to police, public works, school sports, that all could be coming. Several other votes are scheduled in other local communities, including Easton, Hingham, and Dennis. People already say affordability is their biggest issue. So what's the biggest takeaway from this vote, Marianne?
Well, that town is South Hadley in Western Mass, and everyone's just getting back on their feet from COVID. Everybody was just getting, back on their feet in their local economies, and then boom, in comes Trump with tariffs, a war that puts gas prices and everything and makes everything unaffordable. And 50% increase in any tax at any time, in the best of times, it is unsustainable. So I think everyone has to figure out for themselves, can the state do more to help cities and towns? Can cities and towns do more to help themselves? No help is coming from the federal government until the midterm elections.
Jenny?
Speaking from the 413, where Marianne is from. Woo! Look, I think this vote was an insult to voters to ask them to increase taxes by 50% when everyone knows that just paying your bills, especially your electric bills, is really, really hard right now. The message to the other towns that are going to be going for a 2.5 override this season is don't insult voters, recognize the affordability issue, and only ask for what you absolutely need.
We're on the record this morning. Stay with us.